So, okay, great. Well, welcome everybody, and thank you so much for jumping on to this Lunch and Learn. I am only going to take up, well, now it's 1:04. I'm going to attempt to take up only 41 minutes of your time because I want to be done by 1:45. If you would like to stay a little bit later and we can answer questions, great. If you want to answer questions, you have questions in the meantime, just go ahead and unmute yourself, and we'll dive in. So for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Jen Weir. In case somebody shared this video with you or you're watching on YouTube later, I'm a platinum leader with Young Living. I have been using essential oils. It makes me feel old when I say, anytime you count years, but for 7 years. Next month is my 7-year oil anniversary. I have been working a Young Living business for, 4 years now. And so here we go. And I love doing these lunch and learns because here's the thing. When I first got essential oils, if you could see my desk right now, I'm measuring out how many oils we got. We were gifted so many oils because our story was extreme and our friends just had pity on us. But we were gifted these oils, and with this giant thick reference book, if you guys have the book, you know what I'm talking about. It'd be like having the app that we have now, but in book form. And it was like, here you go, have fun. And we were like, what in the world is all this? We were grateful, but we were scared. We didn't know what to do. Oils weren't a thing really in North Texas 7 years ago. They had just jumped on the scene. And so I do these classes to help you and your friends. And by the way, if anybody sent this video to you and you don't do oils, you need to stop this video right now and go call that person, go give them a big bear hug, whatever you need to do, and say, thank you for loving me, because the person that shared this video with you loves you like crazy, more than you can imagine. So today we're just going to talk about why essential oils. Why am I going to grab for this versus something else? I'm just going to be totally compliant, that allopathic something. Why am I going to reach for essential oils to support my wellness? Let's just dive in about that. So here's the thing most people don't realize. There are over 600 references to essential oils and plants in the ancient text of the Bible. If you are not a Bible reader, it doesn't matter. It's the best-selling book around for like the last 100 years. So if you think about it, a book that's been on the bestseller list has 600 references for essential oils and the plants that they come from. You might want to take notice. Not only are there biblical references, but there's all kinds of Egyptian references to essential oils and plants and how they were used way back when. Essential oils are not a fad. They have been around for thousands of years, and there's a lot of historical data on how and why they were used in ancient times. Before I dive into why essential oils, I'm going to give my disclaimer, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a doctor. I like to pretend I am one, but I am not. I'm not here to diagnose, cure, treat, any specific things that you might have. Everything I say today is just for educational purposes only. I kindly ask that you don't ask me to treat, cure, or diagnose you. Okay, get that out of the way. And here's the thing. I just mentioned that we got all these oils gifted to us. We didn't know what to do. I was told, just use this. But I never knew why. My son had a giant hole in his neck from a surgery scar. And so folks would say, well, just use frankincense to support his skin. And coming from my background, I thought they were nuts to put on an oil. I didn't know what an oil was. All I could think of is vegetable oil or coconut oil. And I was thinking germs, and I was thinking all these things like, no, you don't want to do that. So I didn't know why they would say that. Here's the key. When we say, oh, grab some frankincense, use your stress away as you're driving. I see some of you guys are driving in the car right now, and you might go, yeah, I need to grab stress away. But why? Knowing the why is so key to make you want to grab it versus something else. We don't want to take an allopathic something because there's this laundry list of side effects. But then we don't understand how essential oils will support our bodies at a cellular level, like at the cellular level. So it's hard to imagine reaching for that. Knowing these answers are going to help you. But first of all, let's talk about what an essential oil is. If you saw the last Lunch and Learn, we dove in deeply to what are essential oils. So I will just keep that brief. But essential oils, first of all, they're the volatile fluid of aromatic plants. In a nutshell, it's when you cut open basil, when you peel a lemon, that fragrance that you smell, that's the essential oils that you're smelling. Some experts would say that they're the life lifeblood of the plant. They're the essence of the plant. So think about this. The essential oil in the plant is what gives the plant its fragrance. It gives it its life and its health, the vitality of the plant. The essential oils in the plant are what helps the plant.
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with my computer. Let me see if this.
Oh, hold on. Let me just mute. There we go. It's what helps the plant heal itself. In the plant, it repairs damaged tissue. In the plant, it helps it rid itself of toxic substances and free radicals. So when we take those oils out of that plant, imagine on a cellular level what they can do for our bodies. Okay, essential oils, as I mentioned before, have been around for thousands of years to support the body systems and functions. In religious ceremonies and in biblical times, they were used for cleansing purposes.
I hear you.
Oh, there, Sheila, I'm muting you so that we don't have any feedback. Does that make sense?
I'm muted by the host.
I think she keeps unmuting herself. They have been around. They've been used for beauty treatments for royalty in ancient times. And now, this will crack you guys up. Did you know that frankincense is used in Old Spice? That when I realized that, it's like, oh, well, no wonder there's so many men that have walked by me in my life. It's like, oh, that smells really good. And now when I smell frankincense, it makes me think of my grandpa's. And so even in beauty treatments now and in fragrances now, people will use essential oils. Essential oils are very concentrated. They're very potent. So you only need a tiny, tiny little bit. They're fat soluble and they penetrate through the skin and can pass the blood-brain barrier. They're adaptogenic. This is a whole reason why you would want to think about well, not the whole reason. This is one of many, but this is one reason, is that they're adaptogenic. When you reach for an essential oil, know that if you have, I'll grab my lavender. We talk about lavender helping support the nervous system, helping to support a healthy or a good night's sleep. Some people like lavender to help support when they walk outside for seasonal sniffles, that type of thing. Adaptogenic just means that they're going to respond to the body's needs. They're going to respond to your frequencies, and they may be different than what my body needs. I hope that makes sense. Most of Young Living's, or not most, I should say, I'm sorry, many of Young Living's essential oils support at the cellular level, the entire body, for every person that uses them at the cellular level. This is, again, one of the reasons why you would want to reach for that essential oil. Think about your cells. When I teach about nutrition, I try to tell people, stop looking at food like it's, oh, I can't have that, or I should eat that. It's, no, what is going to help my body at a cellular level? What is going to feed my body and fuel it so that I can get through my day, so that I can be more focused, be more alert? You know, when you have folks who have, ADD or any of these brain things, and you see them shoving a donut in their face, I think, now, see, that's not going to help your ADD. That's not fueling your brain cells. You might be more wise to eat an apple, an avocado, those types of things. So let's talk a little bit about the why of Young Living, because as I dive into the essential oils and why we're going to use them, I can only speak about Young Living. This is between me, you, and whoever else watches this. But when I first started teaching, now remember, I had used oils since 2010. I started teaching classes in 2013, and I had no idea why Young Living. It was all I knew. And so, like, well, yeah, of course I'm going to use this. But when people would say, well, I go to the market and I get this oil, I think, okay, it's an oil. I never had experienced an oil from a market. I didn't know the difference between them until I went to the farm. And now, oh my word, it's not even like comparing essential oil companies to an essential oil company. It's apples to oranges. It's not even in the same ballpark. It's just not. So essential oils, so Young Living has been around since 1994. We were the first ones here in the United States. We have our own farms, our own labs, our own distilleries, and our own warehouses. Their standards are far above international standards, and anybody can visit their farm. And this was the game changer for me, is I got to go to the farm in 2015. And I saw with my eyes what they do. And if you've not ever been to a farm, I would encourage you to just go, make an appointment, go see what they do, because it really does make a huge difference. Every essential oil that they make, every batch, I should say, is third-party tested. They do more testing than any other company. Their oils are totally organic, because I know some people are saying, well, are they organic? And I have to tell you, yes, they are organic, but they're better than organic. All the pest control is done with our own oils, and it's hand weeded. We have more oils and blends than any other company in the world. Their standards, I go back to this, their standards are far, far above any other standards. When we think about, again, why essential oils, I cannot help but talk about chemistry. And again, this is one of those things that was a game changer for me when I understood 3 constituents in essential oils. This is where you're going to want to write this down. And if you're driving, then go back about, to the 10-minute mark and re-listen to this and write this down, because there's 3 things that you must understand about essential oils. Yes, lavender smells amazing. It's delightful. I love this oil. It helps with support my nervous system. It gives me a good night's sleep. But the 3 constituents that are in here that make that so, that's what makes me reach for it again and again and again. So here we go. 3 things: phenols, monoterpenes, and sesquiterpenes. I used to not talk a lot about these, especially when we couldn't cure, treat, and diagnose anymore. But now I've gotten back to speaking about these, especially when we talk about why oils, because this, my friends, is exactly why you want to reach for oils. So phenols, PHENOLS, we'll get back to that in a minute. Monoterpenes, MONOTERPENES, and then sesquiterpenes, SESQUITERPENES. 1 drop of essential oil. So I'm going to take, if you guys have a chance to grab your oils, then grab one and put a drop on your hand. And I want you to look at that and think, 1 drop, that one little drop that has now gone into my skin because they're fat soluble. 1 drop of essential oil has 40 million trillion molecules. That's a lot of zeros. That's 17 zeros past the number 40 for all you math wizards out there. We have 100 trillion cells in our whole body. So that 1 drop you just put in your hand has 40 million trillion molecules in that little drop. We have 100 trillion cells in our bodies. So 1 drop of that oil can cover every cell in our body 40,000 times. Guys, that's a game changer, right? I mean, 40,000 times. Your oils are potent. They are powerful. They can go around the body, high five the FDA, and then off they go. They're out of the body within 20 minutes. So let's talk about those 3 constituents we talked about. So phenols. What in the world are phenols? I know you're like, oh no, I don't like chemistry. You guys best start liking it, because it is going to rock your world. Phenols help to clean receptor sites and improve communication in the brain. That is all. They're like little scrub brushes for the brain. They swipe receptor sites. Junk builds up just from bad thoughts, environment, chemicals, whatever. When there's junk built up on our receptor sites, phenols will go ahead and go in there, clean it up, and help have better communication in the brain. When you think about a kiddo, so my son has Asperger's, and he's brilliant, but his brain gets stuck in a loop, if that makes sense. And so sometimes we realize, oh, a little bit of junk has been built up. So when I have him breathe in an oil, it helps any of that miscommunication where his brain is not able to get off that track. It helps him to be able to write that. And so then there's better communication, and he can think clearly, and he can actually function better. Without clean receptor sites, guys, cells cannot communicate. We want our brain cells, which causes everything else to function right, we want it to be able to communicate. And I'll say this may pester some folks who I don't even know that are watching this, but here's the problem with our culture is that we don't even know how our own bodies work. And so we blindly reach for something and we take it and we wonder, well, why am I having vomiting, diarrhea, back pain, things falling off of me? because we don't understand how our bodies work. So it's not that hard. All we need to know is how our brain works. And then we understand that and think, well, okay, let's talk about our liver. It's like most of us think, well, that's science, that's boring. But you are your own advocate. You have one body that God gave you. You would be wise to figure out how it works. I mean, many of us will sit there and read an owner's manual to figure out how our TV works so we can watch hockey or whatever. We don't take the time to think, well, how does our body work? So this is how our body works. When our cells can't communicate, our body malfunctions. We go from optimal health to not so great to disease and then eventually death because we never paid attention over here to figure out how our bodies function. So if our cells can't communicate, the body malfunctions and that results in sickness and all kinds of unsavory things. Even things like allergies or asthma, just anything like that just all of a sudden, oh, I used to never have allergies and now all of a sudden I turned 40 and I have them. That's not a thing. It's because our bodies are telling us, hey, there's something not working. Okay, monoterpenes is the next thing. So monoterpenes can help areas in our DNA that are just miswritten. We have DNA that we're born with, my greenish brown eyes, your blonde hair, whatever, or my used to be brown hair, now it's red. So that's DNA that we're born with. We can't change that. And then there's DNA that we can create because of the environment that we're surrounded with. If we have a negative environment or a positive environment, our DNA can literally change because of that. When our DNA changes because of the environment, maybe it's chemicals, again, toxic words. Our body is made of 70% water, and if you've never watched Hidden Messages of Water, you might want to turn this off and go YouTube that, because that is far more fascinating, just about, again, how our bodies, we respond to negative and positive words. It really does. In the tongue, there is life and death, literally. And so if we have improper coding in our DNAs because of the environment that we have been in, we can actually help our DNA change. It's called adaptogenics. And so monoterpenes can help the body, which that's what it's designed to do, is help it to change for the better. Monoterpenes can help support that. Sesquiterpenes is our last chemistry word, friends. So sesquiterpenes help deliver oxygen to the cells. Cells are already getting oxygen. Sesquiterpenes support that. It's important for the body to get oxygen. It's important for our cells to get oxygen because that's how our body heals itself. Our bodies were designed to heal itself. Did you guys know that? We have to give it the proper tools. We have to give it the proper food. I mean, the Bible is rich with words like that leaves for medicine and or leaves for healing and food for medicine. We have to give it the proper nutrients. Oxygen is one of those things, especially in the brain. So as we talked about with the monoterpenes or even with the phenols, so swiping off those receptor sites, sesquiterpenes are there to help rewrite, to carve in new pathways in the brain. Our brain is responsible for the healing that takes place in our body, whether physically, emotionally, or spiritually. It all starts with our thoughts. And sesquiterpenes can actually help bring a clean slate to the brain and help us to write in new pathways, new neural pathways. Does that make sense? So those are the three things that you want to know: phenols, monoterpenes, and sesquiterpenes. And now you're probably going, oh my gosh, that's so much. And how do I know which has which? That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all, because here's what you know, or what you need to know. Lavender has all three and has a high amount of all three. Frankincense has a high amount of sesquiterpenes. That's why it's such a great brain oil. So when you smell your frankincense, what you're smelling is you're releasing the sesquiterpene that's going to help to oxygenate the brain, help to oxygenate our cells. You don't need to know how much of which, but what you need to know is all oils have at least a little bit of those three. But when you sit there and you know how your body works, what am I trying to support? Do I need better communication in my cells? Do I have bad programming in my brain? So when you know that, then you dive in with your oils, the proper one that you need. Again, when I first started, I had this gigantic reference book that I read and I read and I read. I called it my oily Bible. Now, because of the wonders of technology, we have our app. So if you guys have not downloaded this app, you should. This will help you. This will help you see what we just talked about and which oils have what. Let's go through your starter kit so that we can talk about, now that you know why you would reach for it, what oils do in the body, how they can support. Let's talk about the 11 oils that you have so that every day you can start your day off with wellness and you can finish your day with optimal wellness. And here's the thing, my friends. Another reason, I always say the one reason. No. All these are the one reason, right? I have 20 the one reasons. Here's the one reason why you want to grab essential oils is because you want to start your day off. You want to finish your day. You want to keep going through your day, thriving and living in abundance and optimal wellness. So many of us make it through the day rather than thinking, okay, I wonder how I can just kill it today. Whether it's, I'm just going to be reading, some little kid book to my kids that I homeschool. But killing it through that day is staying awake while I'm reading, having fun with them, that sort of thing. So let's talk about lavender. I mentioned it before. It's great to relax, to unwind. It's great for your nervous system. Certain times of the year, you may want to use it a little bit more as you walk outside. It helps you just if you're a little itchy, maybe a scratchy throat. Lavender is amazing. Lavender is also great for skin support. As we talk about thriving in life, throw some of that in your shampoo, in your lotions, in your skincare products to help support a healthy, glow skin. On that note, frankincense. You guys, I know way too many people who have their frankincense and it's barely used or it's barely opened. This, way back when, was highly valued and sought after in the Middle East, and it still is today. This is not an oil that you want to hoard and save it for good. This is an oil that you want to be dumping on you like crazy. I double dog dare you to go look up the benefits of things that I'm not supposed to be telling you. And then you'll see, oh yeah, I need more frankincense in my life. But here's what I can tell you. Just like lavender, this is great to help support the appearance of healthy skin. It helps to smooth it, using it topically, adding it with your lavender to your lotions. Phenomenal. After you've had a baby, rubbing it on your belly to help just that part where it needs to shrink back down. It's a great thing. Using it during prayer for focus, for clarity, for meditation, all of that, for grounding. If you are having a particularly stressful day and you're feeling a little out of sorts, grabbing some frankincense, smelling that in. Again, remember, the sesquiterpenes. We go back to the why. The sesquiterpenes is going to help your brain to smooth out any of those rough places in the brain and carve in new positive thoughts, new pathways. So any nervous energy you might be feeling, grabbing your frankincense will help to calm that down. What was the other one? Oh yeah, lemon. Oh my word, lemon. Good afternoon, lemon oil. Lemon oil should be going in your gigantic hillbilly jar of oil, or of water every single day, all day. Lemon's natural design for the body, when you squeeze lemon, it helps flush out our system. So do you remember I said our oils are very potent? So one drop of lemon oil, can you imagine? I mean, it takes 75 lemons to make this, or I should say a 15 ml bottle. This is a 5. To make a 15 ml bottle of lemon oil. 75 lemons. That's a lot of lemons. And so you're getting a lot of lymph support. You're getting a lot of digestive support and immune support when you take lemon vitality internally, putting it in your water. One of my favorite things about lemon is that it's not going to pester the enamel of my teeth. I used to squeeze lemon in my water all the time, and then I realized, like, ooh, that's going to wear away at my enamel. That's not going to do that because it comes from the outside, the peel of the lemon. It's also helps support your body's natural pH, so it's very balancing to your pH system. It smells like sunshine. Oh my gosh, growing up in California, I love the smell of lemons. You walk outside, it just smells amazing. So that gives me a little piece of California right there. Peppermint. Peppermint is, I see Maribel's listening. It's her gateway oil for everybody. So if you were ever met Maribel on the street, she's going to throw some peppermint at you with good reason. It's the oldest and most highly regarded herb for normal digestion. This is fabulous. this is one of those oils, like if you don't believe me about Young Living, right now, go to the Whole Foods, grab one of their peppermints and smell it. It's going to smell like a candy cane. Peppermint oil should smell organic. It should smell a little earthy. So those oils don't smell that way. They're sweet. This smells very organic, very earthy, like peppermint should. It promotes healthy intestinal function and gastrointestinal function. It supports your body's, it helps to support your performance, like when you are working out, when you're running, when you're riding a bike, any of that. Peppermint is great to diffuse with lemon. We just mentioned that, to help with focus. So, it's 1:30 in the afternoon when we get off this call. You guys might have work to do. Maybe you've got to pay attention. Diffuse some lemon and peppermint. It will wake you up and it will help you to focus. Those two together, if you've got little ones, I should say little ones, kids in school and then all the way up to high school, having them use a little bit of peppermint, maybe on some lava beads, maybe on a strip of leather as they go to school, a couple of drops of that. That way when they're taking a test, they can do this and it helps bring their brain back into focus. The other thing that I love about peppermint is if you are a snacker, I don't know if I have any snackers on or watching, but peppermint is great to throw in your water with your lemon, especially about, around 3 o'clock when you're thinking a piece of chocolate sounds good or a piece of something. Put some peppermint in. It helps to just curb that desire for that. Purification. It's one of our blends. Again, guys, when we're thinking about why essential oils, I was a huge Febreze lover. It's seriously, when I wonder why my kid got cancer. I'm pretty sure I know why. Febreze, candles, plug-ins, you name it, Tide laundry soap, all of the good smelly stuff. I always thought, well, clean should smell like something. No, clean doesn't smell like anything. Good, clean house does not smell like anything. Purification, it smells good. It gives me that feeling of like, okay, something smells good, but it also cleans. It helps freshen the air and actually eliminates odor because it's got citronella, it's got lemongrass, it's got lavender. It's going to help clean the air, not mask it with all those things that I used to use. I love to add it to our washing machine. And again, it doesn't make my clothes smell like purification. It actually just keeps it clean. It takes away any of that, any of those odors that might be in towels if you have a bunch of kids like I do and they dry their hands and then they wad up the towel and put it in the laundry and you don't know for a couple of days. Adding a couple drops of purification to your laundry will help that. The other thing we like is we have 4 dogs, so we drip it on the back of their nape of their neck to help stave off any unwanted critters that might want to join them as they come back in. All right, Panaway, another blend, great to take away all your aches and pains. Use it for after exercise, use it before exercise to warm up your muscles. It's great to support the appearance of healthy skin coloration. It's great if you are like me, sitting in front of a computer all day. Rub it across your shoulders, across your back. It helps alleviate stress muscles. For women, this is great for using over your abdomen to help balance your menstrual cycle. It will help just soothe your belly if it has a little bit of discomfort. Thieves. Oh, my friends. I could spend the next 20 minutes talking about thieves and the blessing that it is to me. For me, this is my gateway oil. My friend April, we had a bunch of homeschool moms that were desperate to keep our kids healthy. And when she started using Young Living, she's like, yeah, you can order some thieves for me and, it'll help support your kid's immune system. And I'm like, I'll take 5 million bottles of that because I had at the time 4 kids. And so that for me, we just used thieves. We'd roll it on the bottoms of their feet. I had no idea why. I just heard, roll it on your feet and you'll stay healthy all year. Great. Thieves, why is that though? Again, when we talk about why, you need to know the why. Back in the 13th century, 14th century, I should say 1300s, people in Europe wanted to support their immune system, their healthy immune system. So spice traders and apothecaries would douse themselves with herbs and spices to help support their system. Then they would go rob people, rob bodies and all of this. When they were caught for a lighter sentence, and the lighter sentence was this, guys, because this is something I thought, lighter sentence, what would make them divulge their information. Well, the lighter sentence was this: we won't torture you before we kill you. And I thought, oh, well, once I learned that, it made sense to me that that this story was legit, that they actually did have this, that they really did have a reason to give up their information. So for that lighter sentence, they said, these are the herbs and oils and spices we use to help support our immune system. That story is all over Europe. It's in the British Royal Archives. And this is where Gary Young, as he has searched for, wellness and immune support and longevity, this is one of the things he found. So he formulated thieves with clove, with cinnamon, with rosemary, with lemon, and eucalyptus. I had a brain moment there. So eucalyptus, so all of those oils, and separately, each one of those oils are great for the immune system. Put them together, this is a powerhouse. Thieves is so good that we have 12 Young Living products that have the essential oil Thieves in it. Cleaner, foaming hand soap, the spray, the waterless hand purifier, Thieves wipes, Thieves toothpaste, 3 different kinds, Thieves floss, hard lozenges, and then now we have cough drops. We have laundry soap, we have dish soap, just on and on it goes, right? Thieves is amazing to support your immune system. There are so many reasons you would want to use Thieves, but mostly, again, to support your immune system. This time of year, my word, you should be diffusing, grab your diffuser even now and put some Thieves in it. Make sure that when people come over, they don't bring any unwanted visitors. Seriously, douse your friends with Thieves when they come over. Hey, you want some of this? Thieves. It's awesome. And it smells like fall, even better. All right, Digest. Not a delightful smelling oil, and yet such a powerhouse. Here's a brain changer, game changer though for you guys that love Thieves. Maybe you don't love Digest. Love Digest. Maybe you don't love Thieves, or love them both. Rub these two together. Digest is great for belly support, any belly support. You've got ginger, anise, fennel, peppermint, tarragon, and a couple other oils. So that's all great for just an overall wellness when you're traveling to support healthy digestion and cleansing. Here's the thing though. Grab your Thieves, grab your Digest, 1 drop of each in your hand, breathe it in. That is going to rock your brain world. Here's why. The spice oils in Thieves and the spice oils in Digest open up every receptor in your brain. Do you remember we just mentioned that? We went back to the phenols, the monoterpenes, the sesquiterpenes. All those oils that are in Thieves, that are in Digest mixed together are going to help your brain focus and function. So try it. You can thank me later. It's awesome. It's great to diffuse. But Digest all by itself, just on your belly button, you have the most nerve endings there. Most people who live on planet Earth today do not have 100% functioning guts, just because you just don't. We've all had a cheeseburger. We've all had fries. We've all had a piece of chocolate, things that just kind of shred up our bellies. And it takes 18 months for your gut to heal. So unless you've been working on it diligently for 18 months, even then you have environmental toxins that are just going to inundate. My point is you need to be using Digest every day just for a healthy belly. A couple drops in a capsule and down the hatch. Copaiba. This is how you say it. Copaiba. A lot of people wonder how to say it because it's something that we just have never heard of. This is the other thing. This is an unsung hero. I look in people's starter kits, and this is the one that's not open. I'm like, open that up along with frankincense. You want Copaiba in your life. It supports total body wellness. I love Copaiba. I'm going to give you some constituents to look up. You can do it now. You can do it later, but do this. Beta-caryophyllene and alpha-humulene. You want to look those up on your own time, and then you'll be grabbing your Copaiba Vitality and taking that internally along with your Digest. This is going to help support your total body wellness. In South America, it has been used for generations for oral health. It is great for your gums. It's great for your teeth. It's very gentle. It's very woodsy. So if you diffuse it, it's just going to smell like a soft, woody smell. RC is our next one. You've got spruce, you've got cypress, pine, a couple of eucalyptus oils in there. RC is respiratory care, respiratory support. It's going to help open your lungs, help you breathe. as you're exercising. For those of you guys who are runners, I love to use this on my chest before I go running because it just opens up everything. It makes me feel like I could take in deeper breaths as I'm running. It is delightful for sleep. For those of you who sleep next to loud sleepers, a little bit on the chest will help those little bronchial tubes stay open like they're supposed to all night long. Great function. Putting it on the bottoms of your feet just for a nice soothing, again, respiratory support. Ooh, this is my why do we do this. Maybe you guys are used to this. When I first started in essential oils, I'm like, why on earth are you telling me to keep putting it on my feet? Here's why, friends. You have 3,000 pores in the bottom of your feet. Some people are so sensitive that even if they rubbed an onion, they would taste the onion in their mouth. So the bottom of your feet is a great conduit, a great gateway to get into the rest of your body. So when the next time someone says, well, just rub it on your feet, now you know. Oh, right, quickest way into my bloodstream next to sublingually. The quickest way to get into your bloodstream is in your mouth and your tongue. The next quickest way is on your feet. So this is a great way to get oils on little people too. And your kids just rub it on their feet. Typically, you don't need to dilute with a carrier oil. It's much easier. Stress Away is our last oil I'm going to chat about, and I'll let y'all go. Just what the name says, Stress Away. It actually has cedar wood in it right here, which, by the way, if you have not dropped cedar wood in your ER cart, you need to get this. In fact, when people get their starter kit, I'm like, oh, you know what? And add that $11 bottle of cedar wood because that is a game changer. It's high in sesquiterpenes. Go back to your notes and remember why that is. Cedar wood is in Stress Away. It also has copaiba. It has lime, acatea, which is great to help support your normal healthy blood sugar levels. It's got lavender. So all these oils are great for the brain. They're very soothing, and I love that it has acatea in it because, think about it, if you are a stress eater, the reason why you're a stress eater is because your body wants you to feel safe, and so the acatea in there, it's going to help keep your blood sugars where they're meant to be at. Your normal healthy blood sugars, they're gonna just stay, they're going to maintain. By smelling in that acatea, by putting it in your water, whatever. So having that in Stress Away and smelling that, very likely you are not going to run to the pantry. I hope that makes sense. All right, and the last thing in your starter kit is the Ningxia Red, which I'll just touch on that briefly. But if you have your starter kit and you haven't grabbed your Ningxia Red, throw it in the fridge right now, and then in an hour, go drink it. It's a high antioxidant beverage that's going to help support your total body. All 9 of your body systems Ningxia Red supports. Strawberries, raspberries, those types of things on the ORAC scale are 1,200 or 1,500. Wolfberries, which is what's in the Ningxia Wolfberry, or Ningxia Red rather, it's a wolfberry puree. Those have a 25,000 on the ORAC scale. It is way above any superfood that you can grab at the market. And so in your starter kit, I guess I should show that. Hang on. You get 2 of the packets, which are fabulous. But I giggle because some people look at this and like, I am not sure what I'm supposed to do with this. What you're supposed to do with this is pop this in the fridge, let it get chilled, and then take it in. You will love this. The energy that it gives is astounding. The immune support that it gives is so incredible. It's also great when if you're like me, I seem to talk about food a lot. But if, again, you're kind of hungry in the afternoon and you're far from home, grabbing Ningxia Red is a great way to stave off those hungers. If you're traveling, having that to support your immune system within that disease tube that I like to call, or the airplane that I like to call the disease tube, any of that would be great. So that is the Why Essential Oils, my friends. And so I am going to open the floor for some questions. If anyone has questions for me, I know some of you guys I see now in the chat. Let me unmute you guys. Yeah, I am trying to figure out how to do that. All right, does anybody have any questions for me before we head out? I think I just made a whole bunch of noise there.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, Maribel, how are you?
Awesome.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions before I turn it
Yeah.
off?
Can you elaborate just a little bit more on the statement at the cellular level.
Okay, elaborate in what way?
So when you say it reaches the body to the cellular level, literally I'm thinking of our bodies like little made up of little cells.
Okay.
So
Good.
just in each cell of the body the oil hits every cell in.
Yes. It literally goes to every cell. So if you think about it, on a bigger scale, how we take our supplements, right?
Mm-hmm.
And though we don't absorb 100%, if you're using Young Livings, because it's got the essential oils attached to it, so those are going to make the body more bioavailable, and it's going to help carry those nutrients from the vitamins or the minerals or whatever you're doing into the cells.
Mm-hmm.
The oils are just doing that all by themselves. So, okay, I'm going to take my cedar wood now, right? And I'm just going to drop it on my skin right here.
Mm-hmm.
So that one drop now, it's getting into my skin. And this boggles my mind, but it goes to every one of my cells just by doing that. Within the next 20 minutes, I can watch the clock. By 2:05, this is going to be out. Does that make sense?
I think that's what was blowing my mind. I was like, at the cellular level, I thought, whoa.
And I think that, and I'm laughing, I'm like, I think that's compliant to say, I'm like, that's what it does. I'm not curing, diagnosing, or treating. I'm just telling you science. It's just what it does. It penetrates into the skin. And see, like you can't really see, but it just feels like my skin. There's no grease on it. So I know it's in my skin. It's in my cells.
Yes.
It's doing whatever my body would like it to be supported by at the cellular level.
Yeah.
It
just hit me a certain way. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. And that's, to me, when I think about, okay, why reach for an oil? Why? Okay, number one, you're not going to have this list of, oh, hey, this and this and this and this may happen, may occur, except for all this list might be like some amazing, really cool things. But the other thing is it's going to hit your body at the cellular level. When you breathe in the oil, it goes right to your brain.
Mm-hmm.
You're breathing in that oil, and it's helping your brain do what your brain is designed to do.
Mm-hmm. I think every time I think about my body, I think of it in terms of organs, joints, fascia. And then it blew me away when it just got really sciencey. I was like, oh.
And I think that's what's tricky for people is we talk about oils and we think, well, why essential oils? It's like, it's too sciencey for me. It's not, but it's really not. And we are a foolish culture if we don't see how our bodies are designed.
Yeah. I'd almost like to see it under a microscope. Like it happened. Like a drop and then.
If you've ever been to the Perot Museum or you've seen, I can't remember what it's called, but it's this little, it's a little video, and you roll this little roller and it goes from like the biggest star and known star in the universe, Canis Majoris, and then down, and it goes on a scale like Earth, and then smaller objects on Earth, maybe the Eiffel Tower, and smaller, and all the way until it gets to something that our eyes can't even see.
Yeah.
And it's so mind-boggling, and you think, okay, but we know that happens. And so this little like when I say there's, what did I say? I always have to look at my notes. I always want to get it right. How many? Oh yeah, 100
40 billion trillion.
Yes, thank you. 40 million trillion molecules in that little drop of oil. And I'm thinking, no, I can't even count that much. That's such a little drop.
Yeah,
I can't count that high, and yet it's there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's the atoms inside of us that we can't even see with our eyes.
Right. Yeah. I think it just hit me a certain way today that I thought, whoa.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So glad it did.
Yeah.
So,
okay, thanks.
Yeah, and just on that note, just as a side note, Sheila, actually, we were having coffee last night, and I'll just call her out because she's on here. She and her husband had mentioned something about, they read that on the inside of the atoms in our cells, there's sound waves. They've noticed that, there's sound waves in the very middle of it. And I think that speaks to me about frequency of the oil.
Right.
And that's another class for another day. I won't dive in, but if you know anything about the frequency of the oils, it's like, hold on a second. All of our cells have frequency, and they're all vibrating at a certain rate. And when instead of compartmentalizing joints, liver, lungs, cells, think cells. Yeah.
So cool.
I know, right? All right, you guys, if there are no more questions, then I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.